They told me to put a fair amount of seasoned salt in the collard greens. I definitely put a fair amount of this seasoned salt in the collard greens. But at the end of that cooking session, they were like, oh, Lord, we're going to need to get us a head of cabbage. Woo, this is salty. Oh, sweet Jesus. Well, what's a fair amount of salt? What is up, everybody? We alive. Yet another day above soil. As of today, my Etsy shop is on vacation mode. And I have said clearly that I will put my Etsy shop, on vacation mode by the end of December 5th. As I'm shooting this video, it is currently December 6th. So if you come to my Etsy shop and you see that there's no items there, you best believe it is now on vacation mode. But not to worry, I'm going to be doing two craft shows where you can buy some of my things in person if you are in the Syracuse area, which, what is the perception of local? You can watch one of my previous videos about that. But anyway, if you're in that Syracuse area, if you're close by, I'm going to be in the following locations. I'm going to be in the Gear Factory this coming Sunday. And it's going to be from 10 to 4. And then I'm also going to be in the Cicero American Legion on the 18th of December. That's going to be, I believe, 10 to 4. But anyway, I'm going to be in the Syracuse area, and I'm going to be doing some craft shows. So if you want to purchase some of my things for Christmas and you didn't go to the Etsy page before it closed down, feel free to do so. Feel free to come by, say hello. I'll be there. But not to worry, my Etsy shop is going to open up again when I come back from Maryland. And then things will open back up and you'll be able to purchase things from the shop. Okay? Okay. Now to the content. So today, instead of cooking, instead of actually painting in a whole bunch of boobity-boop stuff, I figure I clear out some space in my craft closet. And while I do that, I'm going to cut some bags and make some plarn. And I want to talk to y'all about something. And today's subject, I'm going to talk about perception. So, there's this one time I drove from my place in upstate New York to my hometown in Baltimore County, Maryland. I got my mother, my father, my sister, and my nephew. All of those individuals live in Maryland. The thing that we have in common is that we love to cook. If anything, I learned a lot about cooking from my mother and my father. And it's just something that we love to do. So, I remember this one time I went to their house and I made jerk chicken. I made mac and cheese. And they also wanted to make some plantains. Some people pronounce it plantains, but the way I've heard it pronounced is plantains. You know, them curved yellow fruit that looks like bananas, but they ain't bananas. And if you cook them well enough, they sort of turn, they taste like a cross between a banana and a potato. You could pass it off as some really sweet French fries. And they go very well with jerk chicken. They go well with oxtail. They go well with curry chicken. They go well with roti. They go well with some jollof rice. They go well with collard greens. Plantains are really good. Some people throw them in the fryer. And then you got some people who like to bake them. My mother prefers the latter. So anyway, I'm in the kitchen. I'm cooking. And it's time to roast the plantains in the oven. And before I put them in the oven, my mom's like, okay, put a little bit of olive oil, drizzle a little bit of olive oil on the plantains. Thinking nothing of it, I put a little bit of olive oil on the plantains. I thought I was following the directions. And then my mom said, oh, that's not a little bit of olive oil. And then I replied, well, you know what could have prevented this from happening? Measurements. So here's the deal. The way I see the world, the way a good friend of mine down the street sees the road, the way my supervisor at my work sees the world, the way my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my aunties, the way my nephew sees the world is very different. Perception is what makes this different. When I think of a little bit of olive oil, my little bit may be a lot for somebody different. So when I ask somebody, can you please tell me a specific amount that goes within a dish? They say, oh, you put a little. What does a little bit mean? Does it mean an ounce? Does it mean 2 ounces? Does it mean 4 ounces? Does it mean a cup? Because I could say that a little bit of olive oil is a 1/4 cup. But they'll say, oh, actually, it depends on the big size of meat. It depends on the meat. It depends on how long you're going to cook it. It depends on how short you're going to cook it. It depends on how you look at it. If you have a one eye, if you have 2 eyes, if you're cooking it with your left hand, if you're cooking it with your right. It's situational. So because things tend to be situational, perceptions start to change. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a funny example. I think this is hilarious. And I wanted to prove a point. So usually on Thursday or Friday night, if I'm not making art, if I'm not cooking, if I'm not working, I'm at the bowling alley and I'm knocking them pins down. And usually when I'm at the bowling alley and I'm knocking the pins down, I'm playing cards. So usually they bring out a deck of cards and they're going to be like, Drew, cut the deck. So I scurry on to my bowling bag and I grab my scissors and I'm like, you want me to do what now? You want me to cut the deck? And they were like, no, don't cut the deck, don't cut the deck. And I'm like, okay, so you told me to cut the deck. I got the scissors, and as soon as I'm about to cut the deck, you're telling me I can't cut the deck. No, that's not what I meant. Well, what do you mean then? Perceptions. Behind me, you'll see a picture of a gorilla. So on the past weekend, I went to Syracuse to an art exhibition and craft show. I'm going to be popping over there this coming Sunday again. So there was this one person who said, oh, you did this gorilla? I actually saw a gorilla somewhere downstairs. Did you do that one? I said, no, but I didn't see the gorilla. They were like, oh, yeah, this is what I was referring to. Oh, I didn't do it. But here's the thing. I find it fascinating that each and every artist has a different creative perception. So the way I did this gorilla right here, this is my buddy right here, is different than how another artist did their gorilla, their take on a gorilla. It's the same animal, but it's just the simple fact that at one point or another, we both thought about illustrating or creating a picture of a gorilla. I find this fascinating. And it's very similar to another picture that I did. I actually did another YouTube video where I made this. So if you just subscribe to my channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We're still on the road to 100 subscribers. But anyway, I actually made this picture, I think last year. And I saw a very graceful bird flying in the sky. I was like, ooh, what's that? And they're like, oh, that's a blue heron. I'm gonna illustrate it. So anyway, I made this, and then I went to another craft show, and there was a lady who had a lot of watercolor. And sure enough, she also painted a blue heron. I was fascinated because it was the same bird, it was the same color scheme, it was the same environment with the cattails. It's just mine looked different than hers. We had the same idea of what bird to create, but they both look differently because our perceptions are both different. Truth be told, I think it is absolutely wonderful that each and every person in the green and blue earth has a different perception. They have a different outlook on life. They have a different walk of life. They come from different families. They come from different societies, and so on and so forth. I greatly appreciate the diversity of life we have within the earth. However, with the diversity of life, you also have the diversity of viewpoints and ethics. And this is where perceptions may cause conflict. So if somebody told me, oh, may I borrow a little bit of money? Well, what does a little bit of money mean? Does it mean $1? Does it mean $5? Does it mean $100? Does it mean $99? Does it mean $999? How much money are we talking is a little bit? Now, let's say they borrow the money and they don't pay me back. Though it's just a little bit of money, but still, you got to pay me back. There's that kind of perception where you promise that you're going to do something, but you didn't do it. What does that perception of you look like? But still, everybody has a different perception of how much or how little of something really is. If somebody shoots me an email and I don't respond within 48 hours, they may get mad. Whereas some people may get surprised when they say, whoa, you responded in 48 hours. Oh my goodness, you're on a roll. Everybody has a different standard because the perception is different. So what does this all mean? At the end of the day, you got to communicate. My perception is different than yours. So it would be very fitting to spell it all out. And when you first meet somebody, they start working for you or they become a good friend of yours. Spell it out. What does certain things mean? What is and is not okay? What is a little bit? What is a lot? When is it okay to call each other? Because some people are night owls and they prefer to wake up late. Some people are early birds and they prefer to wake up early. Some people are nocturnal and they stay up all night. Trust me, I used to be a living professional in a college residence hall. You become nocturnal when you work for residence life at a college. And quite honestly, I'm still nocturnal. But anyway, everybody has a different perception of what is and is not okay. So before conflict happens, have an open conversation about expectations and perceptions. It will save you lots and lots of time. There's a lot of things within our society that discriminate. Death, however, doesn't discriminate. We're still on the road to 100 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. I'm out.